A few years ago, I took my first step into the world of politics. I just opened Twitter, now X, around the time of the 2020 presidential election, and I saw a tweet from one of my favorite celebrities, Taylor Swift. Now, the question here isn't why I had an account on Twitter at the age of 13 years old. It's also not why Taylor Swift was one of my favorite celebrities. I mean, come on, I was 13. The real question is, how could have Taylor Swift possibly influenced me to take an interest in politics for the first time? You see, this tweet wasn't just any ordinary tweet. It wasn't one about the cancellation of her upcoming tour, not about the release of her new album, or even her being featured in the latest fashion magazine. It wasn't related to pop culture at all. Surprisingly, this tweet was of her standing in her house holding a platter of freshly baked cookies, each one iced Biden 2020 in red, white, and blue lettering. At the time, I had absolutely no idea who Biden was, so this led me into a wormhole of research as I tried to find out who my favorite artist was endorsing at the time. That night, I avidly watched the first vice president debate, getting entranced by their rhetoric, their speeches, and politics in general. Throughout the next year, I continued exploring my interest in it by joining UN simulations, youth political organizations, and many more. But compared to others, my reaction to Taylor's tweet was a rather moderate one. Studies found that her opinions actually had the power to sway American voters who were Swifties like myself, and that her engagement played an immense role in shaping opinions, just like things like campaign advertisements or just ads in general. But Taylor's just one example of many. I already knew that celebrities, of course, had the power to sway fans and followers into following what they wanted. I already knew that you can buy products through sponsored commercials, brand deals, and partnerships because of that. What I didn't know, however, was just how far that influence could stretch. The intersection between pop culture and politics has actually become increasingly apparent in recent years, with examples in late-night TV shows like Saturday Night Live, better known as SNL, where just 2 years ago, the game show Republican or Not premiered. Contestants guessed if peoples were Republican or not, based on unclear statements. While SNL obviously meant for this to be a skit of political humor, something funny to be watched at, not to be taken seriously, you can't really control what the audience thinks. As a result, the show's enduring role in American popular culture has an impact on voters and elections, leading to what has been termed as the SNL effect. Critics claim it can have a harmful impact on politics by misrepresenting and ridiculing politicians, of which include the likes of Barack Obama and Donald Trump, former presidents of the United States. Well, SNL has received both praise and criticism for its approach, but it's important to know that pop culture politics extend far beyond the show. Harmful effects can also be seen in other media forms like memes or trending internet culture. For example, political memes referencing the 2020 presidential debate, like this, or this. When taken at face value, these memes are nothing more than a funny portrayal of political figures, events, or ideologies. I'm sure you can all agree there's nothing like a good dose of humor to lighten the mood when discussing serious topics like politics. And if they can even get previously indifferent teenagers like you and I interested and engaged in politics, that can be seen as a positive sign. But it's also important to acknowledge when it goes too far, when humorous visuals become a prominent part of political discussions. For example, take Donald Trump's various retweets of antagonistic memes, even one hitting Hillary Clinton over the head with a golf club, which, for all intents and purposes, I'm not going to show on the screen right now. Or take a similar example of the 2016 US presidential election, where an alt-right movement flooded the internet in a swarm of pro-Trump content, turning it into a meme war. These memes often highlighted scandalous allegations addressed against his opponent Clinton, and it forced mainstream media to address topics they would typically avoid, like conspiracy theories about Clinton's health. To be honest, the reason why these memes are so popular are because they are a form of online content after all. They're meant to attract approval, likes, shares, comments, or praise, not really discussion or objectionable content per se. For example, this meme of the former UK Prime Minister Liz Truss, without context, has been viewed by over 2.3 million people online, highlighting how memes, by their nature, often simplify complex issues into humorous but lacking formats. So, here's my answer. How can we learn to appreciate popular culture for what it is while remaining informed and engaged about its influence on politics. There are 3 steps I'd like to share with you today for you to take. Step 1, be critical. As much as I loved Taylor Swift at the time when she posted that tweet, the one I mentioned at the beginning of my speech, it didn't really mean that the love I had for her would automatically transcend into love for Biden. It meant that I realized the need for myself to separate artist appreciation from personal beliefs. After all, we want to be like our idols, but it's important to replicate things you admire about them, not their ideologies. Of course, maintaining a sense of individuality is what truly matters as we look at the content online. Step 2, stay engaged. If reading political memes and cartoons is what captures your attention in politics, so be it. Laugh at the meme, like it, and share it with your friends. But afterwards, I urge you to try and seek the meaning behind the meme or the cartoon. For example, find out why Liz Truss had to resign from her job as Prime Minister. Discover the contents behind Trump and Biden's presidential debate. Because when you take a step back and actively engage with the popular culture you're consuming, you'll find that you'll gain an increased awareness of political issues and the political landscape at the same time. Finally, step 3, find your why. What if you say, Ava, I don't want to learn about politics. I don't care about gaining a better understanding of the political landscape. And that might be many of you here today. But here's my response to this. I believe that politics is undeniably an integral aspect of our daily lives, shaping the laws and policies that form society as we know it today. It's impacted the past, it continues to affect the present, and it will influence the future. I admit that wanting to seek out knowledge of politics might be hard if you aren't interested in it in the first place. I first happened to stumble upon it because of Taylor Swift, but there are certainly more methodical ways to increase your interest, like reading the news, looking at political issues that align with your interests, or even taking the time to talk to your friend about whatever political meme you happen to find funny that day. After all, if that Taylor Swift post about pop culture politics hadn't affected me, I might have never engaged with politics at all. Presidential debates might have certainly never had the chance to inspire me. And I definitely wouldn't be standing in front of you here today talking about why pop culture politics, as simple as it is, made me want to learn more about political affairs for the first time. So, pick up your phone, watch that SNL skit, and laugh at that Donald Trump meme. Find out why Rick Astley surprisingly qualifies as a great prime minister. If I manage to discover the better side of pop culture politics up through Taylor Swift, so can you. Thank you.